It's round 5 of the face-to-face tour Legacy 1K side event. This is Steven versus Popa. Steven is on Guru. So this is this is a strange match where we have two really cool decks, two classic strategies, and they're both using companions. I think Michael forgot to kind of show or reveal his companion, but I don't think it comes into play in this match. But it is Garuda versus Yorion. Steven is on Bomberman, and Popa is on Yorion's Cephalid Breakfast. So Steven is mulliganing to 6 here. Gonna see if it's good enough. Lotus, Boromir, 2 cities, 2 ancient tombs, and a Lion's Eye Diamond. Don't think it's good enough. So with the new inclusion of Boromir, this deck is able to find almost every single piece of your combo. It can find Lion's Eye Diamond, it can find Walking Ballista, it can even find lands if you need to get just like an extra source of mana to do something. You can find Ancient Den. You can even you can also find the Oriok Salvagers as well. Like it finds every piece of your combo. So not bad, and it's pretty easy to cast as 4 mana is not a struggle for Bomberman in the slightest. So pitching Thought-Knot Seer, probably an Urza Saga here. Yeah, you have Azorius Signet and Urza Saga. Sorry, you have Urza Saga Caracas to cast your Urza's or Azorius Signet, and then you have your Lion's Eye Diamond Oriok Salvagers combo. So you just need one more source of mana and you can kind of combo off. So Steven will play a Caracas and pass him to Popa. Popa top decks a Polluted Delta. He's gonna play it and then crack the fetch right away. Cephalid Breakfast has been pretty popular as of late. Ever since Initiative rose, it really spiked in popularity as it had a pretty good matchup. Here's a Cabal Therapy. I think he named Force of Will. Yeah, because he wanted to know what Steven was on. Steven's known for playing a variety of different decks, and he's very good at most of them. He's been playing Legacy for quite a long time. There's an Azorius Signet. Michael draws. It's a fetch land. Marsh Flats. Plays Narcomoeba. Probably going to sacrifice it to Cabal Therapy. There we are. Name Oriok Salvagers. Gets 2. Wow, that's a good Cabal Therapy. Draws a card. Upticks Urza Saga. Is it going to be anything relevant? It is Lotus Petal. Play Lion's Eye Diamond. Pass the turn. Popa draws Stoneforge Mystic off the top. I think you can play the Stoneforge Mystic and then find Shuko. You know Steven doesn't have anything. If he top decks a Walking Ballista, then it starts to become bad. I wonder if Steven has a Pithing Needle. If Steven has a Pithing Needle, then he can fetch... Oh, he cannot have Pithing Needle because he has Garuda in his deck. So he does not have a main board answer to Shuko, I don't think. So holding priority in response to this Urza Saga trigger, he makes another construct, kind of tapping out here. I think this might be game. Popa can just play Cephalid Illusionist and kind of win the game here. You can just go off. Construct attacks for 6 damage, I believe. 4 mana artifacts, 2 constructs. Popa is gonna untap. Finds another land. It's a lot of lands. Gonna play this Cephalid Illusionist. Okay, so how this combo works is Shuko is going to activated 0 mana ability targeting Cephalid Illusionist. Cephalid Illusionist says whenever it's targeted by a spell or an ability, you mill the top 3 cards of your library. So what you do is, even though Shuko is equipped to the Cephalid Illusionist, you can still target the creature that it's equipped to for as long as you can pay the equip cost. So Popa is going to mill his own library. You can see that he's setting aside his combo pieces, which are Thassa's Oracle, Dreader Turn, and these Narcomoebas. So once his library is completely milled, he can Dreader Turn, sacrificing 3 creatures from the graveyard, and bring back Thassa's Oracle and winning the game. He can win the game because his devotion to blue is greater than the number of cards in his deck. Good play at the end there where he sacrifices one of his extra creatures just so he can use Cabal Therapy, flash it back, and check to see if an opponent hand has anything. So we saw immediately Popa boarding in Pithing Needle to stop the Auriok Salvagers. Good game plan, as he also has access to Urza Saga. So we're gonna see Steven sideboarding here. Looks like Defense Grid's coming out. I think he was debating on Thought Knot Seer as well. Another Defense Grid. So I think all of his Defense Grids are coming out. I'm surprised they're actually in the main board. It is probably a better decision. His main board is quite limited because he is playing the Garuda version. Yeah, there's another Thought Knots here. So we see 3 Defense Grids and a Thought Knots here coming out. So he does have a Karn package, so 4 Leyline of the Voids. He might want to bring in these some number of spatial contortions just as extra interaction, because Cephalid Breakfast is a creature-based combo deck with Nomad's Encore and Cephalid Illusionist being very vulnerable. So bringing in, so I think we took out an extra Thought Knot Seer and brought in an extra Spatial Contortion. So there's 4 ley lines, 2 Spatial Contortions in, 3 Defense Grid. No, sorry. 3 Defense Grid, and I think 3 Thought Knot Seers out. So it looks like Popa bringing in 2 Surgical Extractions and a Pithing Needle. He was considering an extra Surgical Extraction, Serenity, and 2 Force of Negation. I don't think the Force of Negations are where you want to be against Bomberman. It also heavily relies on creatures for its combo, which is mainly Auriok Salvagers. You could technically bring in or use Force of Negations against Lion's Eye Diamond, but I don't think that's a great idea. Not to mention there's cards as well to find the extra Lion's Eye Diamond that's in the sideboard. So Steven is going to be on the play here. Looks like Popa siding in 1 extra card. Or 1 more card, sorry. And we're going to start game 2. So Steven's opening hand, looking at Ancient Tomb, 2 Chalices, Karn, Lion's Eye Diamond, Boromir, and Cavern of Souls. I think this is a great keep. You can turn 1 Ancient Tomb Chalice, and then Cavern of Souls named Human, and kind of get your extra land, or you have 2 to 3 turns of finding a land to do something. Ooh, Popa keeping a hand of Triple Ponder, and then top deck Shuko. So, there's a Cauldron Complete. Looks like a Swords to Plowshare. So, I think 5 out of his 7 cards he cannot cast. He's even top deck the Leyline of the Void. Don't think it's needed here. There's a second Chalice. So yes, when Chalice is being casted for 1, it is 2 mana. The Chalice on 1 does not counter Chalice for 1. Popa draws. That looks like Orcish Bowmaster, not a land drop. I think you need to discard one of these Ponders. They don't really do much. Even discarding the Orcish Bowmaster is like an option. Steven finds the 3rd land. Gets to cast Boromir here. When he enters the battlefield, he gets to dig, I think it's 4 deep. I guess it's 5 deep. Finds a creature. Finds Auriok Salvagers. It's to find a creature and artifact, I think. I believe. I'd have to double check. Popa draws and discards Shuko. Drew a second swords. So Boromir attacking gets to dig 5 deep yet again. Finding everything that he needs to to close out this game as quick as possible. He does have infinite mana. He just needs a way to. I think he has everything that he needs, actually. He can play Auriok Salvagers, make infinite mana next turn. Well, next turn he can play Karn and then make infinite mana and then use Karn to find the Walking Ballista. Popa does not find another land. It discards Culture Complete. This game is over. Finds another Auriok Salvagers. So Steven now has the combo assembled, but Popa could have Surgical Extraction. So Auriok Champion, or sorry, Auriok Salvager is going to has the ability to pay 2 mana to return any artifact from your graveyard to your library, or from your graveyard to your hand. As long as it costs some certain mana or less. So Auriok Salvagers constantly returns Lion's Eye Diamond to their hand from the graveyard to generate infinite mana. So every time you net 1 mana. To Cutting Culture Complete and Swords to Plowshares. Looks like Surgical Extraction coming out as well. I don't know. I think these cards can stay in. I don't think you need Orcish Bowmaster. The card doesn't do anything in this matchup. All of these cards can are very good cards to keep in. Force of Negation, not great. Prismatic Ending is okay, but I don't think it has the colors to kind of exile what he needs. I guess the Prismatic Endings are mainly in there for Chalice of the Void now. I think the main things that should have been cut are the Bowmasters. They're not enough pressure. Like Culture Complete is pressure against the combo deck. Surgicals are good because you can pick off the Lion's Eye Diamond or whatever artifact Steven is trying to bring back with Auriok Salvager. Teferi is good to keep in. It stops Steven's disruption, but it doesn't stop if he has if you're going the Shuko game plan, it doesn't stop Walking Ballista activating its ability to just kill off the Cephalid Illusionist. It also doesn't stop him from killing the Nomads on core. So here we are starting game 3. Popa on the play. Cephalid Illusionist, Cabal Therapy, Urza Saga, Pithing Needle, Force of Will, Force of Negation, and Ponder. Not a bad starting. Oh, it is. Because your only land is Urza Saga. So Popa's gonna mulligan here. Steven, Cavern of Souls, Lion's Eye Diamond, Leyline of the Void, Caracas, Boromir, Lotus Petal, and a 7th card. So Popa, Scrubland, Tundra, Ponder, Force of Will, Stoneforge Mystic, Cephalid Illusionist, Swords to Plowshare. So this is not bad. I don't know what you would pitch here. Looks like he's gonna go with these Swords to Plowshare. So pregame effects, there's a Leyline of the Void. I wonder if the Stoneforge Mystic should have been the pitch. Oh no, you wanna keep it to get the Shuko. Okay, that's not bad. He has Nomads on core, Scalding Tarn. I don't think I think you can shuffle this, right? Do you really want the Cabal Therapy that much? Okay, he opts to keep it. Takes the Cabal Therapy, passes the turn. There's a Counter Souls, probably naming Human. Alright, there's a third land drop that we know of. It's the Scalding Tarn. So if we don't want the Swords to Plowshare, or if we don't want the Nomads on core, then we can shuffle it away. Looks like he's going to do so. There's a Cabal Therapy instead. So name the Auriok Salvagers. So if Steven tries to go for Boromir, he can't counter it. So I think the Swords to Plowshares was a pretty okay keep, but I probably would have played the Stoneforge Mystic here. I don't think there's any. Oh, there was a risk of Steven comboing off. But now Steven gets to find what he's missing, which is the Auriok Salvagers. Finds it in the top 5. Think Steven drew the Urza Saga. There's Plains for Popa. There's Stoneforge Mystic, find Shuko. Probably cast Shuko and equip. So this is a little bit unfortunate here. Popa has Disruption in Force of Will, but he needs to pitch the Cephalid Illusionist if he wants to interact. Steven is able to, like, he has all of the pieces in his hand. He's just a little bit limited on mana because he wants to deploy the Auriok Salvagers, but he also wants to be able to cast something else. The issue is that he has nothing to spend the infinite mana on right now, and if he does go for infinite mana, he loses his entire hand. So we're gonna play the slower route here. We're just gonna play a land, probably play Chalice on 1. It stops it stops Popa from using Swords to Plowshares, stops him from using cantrips. Looks like he's gonna go with the Auriok Salvagers here. Not sure what he has top decks. Oh, so he is going for infinite mana, it looks. If he was gonna go for infinite mana, I probably would have liked to see him go for it pre-combat. Because then you can dig with Boromir and keep the card. So Michael could stop him from generating infinite mana here if he really wanted to by using the Force of Will to stop the Lion's Eye Diamond. It only prolongs it for 1 turn. But ooh, so he did find the Karn. He's gonna make infinite white mana, and then I think he's gonna filter it for some blue mana, and he's gonna add Garuda to hand. So he's gonna make infinite white mana, filter it, and make infinite blue mana as well. And then he's gonna return Lotus Petal, he's gonna return Chalice of the Void to hand. He's gonna cast Chalice of the Void, looks like for 1. And he's gonna play the Lotus Petal so that he can just have this extra stuff on the board and then continue cycling the LED for more mana. So it looks like, I think it's Chalice for 1. Yeah. Oh, Chalice for 2. So it stops Popa from using Cephalid Illusionist. So adding the Garuda to hand, play Lotus Petal, cast Garuda. There's Force of Will, exiling the Cephalid Illusionist that can no longer be cast. And I think that'll be the end of Steven's turn. He'll draw. It's Prismatic Ending. A little late here. So if he let the Garuda resolve, I think Popa would have won the game because he could Prismatic Ending the Chalice of the Void and then Cephalid Illusionist Shuko combo off, go eat breakfast. So if you were to ending something, it would have to be the Auriok Salvagers. It can't be the Lion's Eye Diamond. But Popa cannot generate 4 different colors of mana. He can only go for 3. So this is an awkward position. Steven is at quite a huge advantage here because any top deck that he gets, like the best top deck for him is a Karn or a Walking Ballista. If he gets Walking Ballista, he can cast it for X equals 1, ping Popa, have it go to the graveyard, and then return generate infinite mana, and then return it to his hand to kind of do it again. Boromir attacks, finds another Boromir. So this is gonna find another piece, I believe. So tapping for 4. Oh, there's Karn. He has the win no matter what. So he can just go find Walking Ballista, or he can make infinite mana now, find Walking Ballista with the Karn out of his sideboard, and then he pings Popa for infinite. So there's Steven revealing the Walking Ballista. So Steven with Bomberman wins in game 3.